Jesus Christ. Okay, hello. Welcome to Draft House Drive. This is a solo edition because Brett and Casey are out of town. Brett is out of town and Casey is, I don't know, doing whatever. But I just saw The Killing of the Sacred Deer, which is directed by a Greek man whose name I cannot pronounce. And it's the same dude who directed The Lobster from like a year ago or 2 years ago, depending on when people saw it. And it's very interesting. It's a weird fucking movie, just like The Lobster was. So the premise of this movie is pretty much, it's about a surgeon and a boy and the surgeon's family. And that's all I'm going to say, because the trailers don't tell you shit, and I'm not gonna tell you anymore. That's it. It's surgeon and boy and family. And I think compared to The Lobster, I think this was a better movie, because The Lobster was kind of like, do you get what we're trying to talk about? Do you get it? Because they were talking about like dating and the culture around dating and how it's pretty much required, and if you don't date, then you're like an outcast in today's society. Whereas this movie, I don't really know what the message was, and I don't really usually know what messages are in movies unless someone tells me, because sometimes that shit is real weird. But this movie didn't really have a message, I don't think. I hope not. Maybe it did. Who fucking knows? It was real fucking weird, I know that for sure. But I think I would give this either a light B plus, or no, a strong B plus, or a light A minus. I enjoyed it very much, but I will say that when it comes to psychological horror or thriller movies or fucking whatever it is, it very much depends on the crowd that you are in. And this movie I had to go to Cinemark for the first time since last year when I saw La La Land. And it makes me fucking mad because I don't fucking like Cinemark, because they just let people go on their phones and bullshit, and it is gay. And there are a bunch of fucking college frat dudes sitting in the row right in front of me laughing the whole damn time, which was not appropriate for this movie, because laughing during this movie was essentially the same as laughing during Mother. And well, that doesn't fucking make sense, because it's some weird shit. Now, I think that this movie is very similar to Mother in the fact that the trailers don't really tell you much, and it's really weird and kind of takes you off guard in where it goes with the movie. You get more of an idea with this movie than you did with Mother, but still it's very different from what the trailers show. And it, like I said, it does depend on the audience you have. But what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Oh, I think Brett would either really like this movie or really wouldn't, and I think Casey just wouldn't like it at all, because the first scene that they open up on is what looks to be either it's a real good fake or a real like human heart in open heart surgery. I don't know which one it is, but there is beating organ and skin pulled back, and it looks, either it's a really good fake or it's the real thing. Either way, I don't know which one it is, because I'm not a doctor boy, but it looks like a fucking real ass heart or organ or something. It was pumping, so I assume it's a heart. And then it just kind of goes into the story about all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's a B plus. Casey would hate this movie with burning passion. We'd walk out and Casey would be like, worst movie, 0 out of 10, or some other bullshit, and then he'd be like, oh, it ranks somewhere on my list of worst movies with Teenage Mother and Raw and Mother and whatever he would fucking say. And I don't know how Brett would feel. He'd either say it's really good or really bad, because with these movies it's a hit or miss. Because I think he didn't really like The Lobster, because I'm pretty sure he fell asleep when me and him watched it. But he did enjoy Mother and stuff like that. So yeah, it's, I don't know. what their reviews would be. Maybe they'll see it and they'll give you their solo reviews, but that's probably not going to happen, because if it weren't for me, neither of them would see any movies. So, oh well. I think, how much time have I gotten in? I can't see because I am on maps. Why am I on maps? I don't need to be on maps. Okay, I'm only 5 minutes in. I think that, because usually that's about the time we go into spoilers. So I guess I'll go into spoilers. So, spoilers for Killing of a Sacred Deer. Don't listen to this if you haven't seen the movie, because go see the movie and then listen to this part, because it does. Yeah, watch the movie. It's worth watching. So spoilers. 5 done. So the first thing I would like to say is there have been a lot of movies where we have to watch kids die, and it's I don't like it, because first it happened, It Comes at Night. The fucking boy, the little kid got shot by that dude trying to protect his family. Then it happened in fucking Mother, because they fucking broke a baby's neck, which is still the most fucked up out of all the kid killings. And then in this one, because the premise is this heart surgeon, he's a heart surgeon, and he's friends with this kid named Martin, and the kid's dad, Martin's dad, got killed in heart surgery when he was in surgery with the main dude, and it turned out the main dude was drinking during the surgery, so it is his fault. So so the kid is like, okay, I don't know how he fucking does it, because it can't be poison, because they just magically get better. But he's like, okay, so what we're going to do is all your family members are going to die unless you kill one of them. And the way it's going to work is they're going to go paralyzed, and then they're not going to want to eat, and then blood's going to come out of their eyes, and then they're going to die. And what it starts with is the doctor's son, who's the youngest in the family. He looks like he's like second or maybe third or... No, actually, I take that back. He's probably 4th grade. Maybe 5th grade, but so it starts with him, and he loses feelings in his legs, and then he goes in the hospital, and then the kid, Martin, the kid, tells the dad, he's like, yeah, surprise, this is because you killed my dad, boo-hoo, haha, kill someone. And then that happens in the first like 30 minutes, and then the rest of the movie is just the kids getting sick and dealing with all that kind of stuff. So like the kid gets sick, or the daughter gets sick, and then they're both paralyzed, but Martin is trying to like fuck the daughter or something, and he's 16 and she's 13, and it's all sorts of fucked up. And then after a while, what it comes to is the dad is like, okay, I'm gonna have to kill one of you, because the youngest son has blood start coming out his eyes, so he's like getting ready to die. Meanwhile, the daughter is still just not eating, or eating through a tube or something. And then what happens is the method he goes about deciding who he's going to kill, he puts a pillowcase on all their heads and puts them in 3 corners of a room, and then he covers his face, and he just spins around and shoots bullets. And the whole time this is happening, the college frat dudes in front of me are laughing their asses off because they think it's so funny, and I'm just sitting there like, this dude's having to kill a member of his family. It's real fucked up. But what ends up happening is he shoots his fucking youngest son, who's the one who was like the closest to the dad. If anything, he should have shot the fucking daughter, because she was a bitch, and tried to free the kid that fucking poisoned her and all that shit. And yeah, so son shouldn't have died, daughter should have died, but whatever. And in this movie it stars Colin Farrell, who is the same dude from The Lobster, and he gives pretty much the exact same performance. Like you could say it's the same character, and I would completely believe you, because like in Bruges, and what other movies are there? 7 Psychopaths, and other Colin Farrell movies such as Daredevil. He's different, but in this one and The Lobster, he is the exact same fucking character back to back, and it's really weird because it's just kind of like monotone delivery, waddling around, and and stuff like that. It also has Nicole Kidman, and you see her grandma titties, and it's uncomfortable. Otherwise, it stars the kid from Dunkirk as the psychopath, who did a really good job. I think he was very unsettling whenever he was on screen. But as long as you're given good lines, I think anyone can be unsettling, because I mean, he did it pretty well. But yeah, he did a very good job on being unsettling and creepy as shit and an asshole. And like I said, Colin Farrell did the same thing that he did in The Lobster, just around family instead of trying to not become an animal. And Nicole Kidman did a good job. The kids, whatever, take them or leave them, I don't care. Yeah, that was The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Go see it, B+ or A-, depending on whichever rating I decide to give it. So this has been Draft House Drive, and no one else is here, and I think I'm just gonna stop it there. So yeah, done. Movie review.